Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. I am the Real Cass Perry, and today we are going to be doing some more Reddit stories because I had a lot of fun with that one yesterday, and I just kind of want to keep it up a little bit, jazz it up a little, see how some stuff goes, all of that good stuff. So, yeah. We're feeling a little bit sassy today. We got our makeup did. I actually did my hair for once. I actually did my hair. I didn't just brush it. I spent a little bit of time on it, which is not really that normal for me. Gonna be real. So anyways, we're gonna be doing some more of the Am I the A-hole stories and sass boxes. This one's gonna be fun. I have a few lined up. We're actually gonna go for a while longer than we normally do today, and yeah. Hopefully all goes well. So, we are starting off with, am I the a-hole for accidentally ruining my autistic boyfriend's safe food? Now, I am going to be completely honest. My first impression of this one is yes, OP, you are most likely the a-hole, but it really depends on how it happened. So let's get into it, shall we? The original post is from U-Stewless in Seattle. Oh my gosh, Stewless in Seattle. I kind of love that. So it reads, my boyfriend loves stew. He wants to eat it every single day for every meal. That's not bad. Stew's really good for you. His favorite stew is beef tips and vegetables from a local place, but it's really expensive. It's like $47 for a big bowl, and they don't do small orders for takeout. And he is grossed out by leftovers, so more than half of it gets wasted. Oh. Oof. We've had a couple of arguments about it, and he says that I don't understand his brain. I say that he doesn't understand our budget. And I mean, at a certain point, I get that it's so I have autism and ADHD, like the overlapping AUD ADHD, like the whole shebang. And it can be really, really difficult when it comes to food, but when you know about the budgeting thing, then you generally have to make some acceptances when it comes to it. Like, you're not always going to enjoy every meal. That's not realistic. Like, I eat things that I hate just for survival purposes. Okay, that's the way that it is, because at the end of the day, if you don't budget correctly, you're going to go fully into debt, and then you're going to lose everything. And you don't want to lose everything. Like, maybe I'm overthinking it. Anyways, recently I looked up some recipes, including doing a dissection of the takeout soup, and I tried my hand at making a home-cooked replacement for stew night. He loved it for a few days, and then one night he was hanging out with me in the kitchen and saw me put tomato paste into the pot. And he was really upset and demanded that I make the soup without the paste. I told him that it wouldn't taste the same, and he said that it would be better because he hates tomatoes. Oh. They're not a safe food for him. So I made the soup with no tomato paste, and big surprise, something felt off about it to him. Instead of admitting that the tomato paste was necessary, he threw a fit and told me that he didn't want home-cooked food anymore if I was going to play with him. No, that's not playing. That's a recipe. This isn't just autism. This is weaponized incompetence, because following a recipe is necessary. It doesn't, just because tomatoes aren't a safe food in one form doesn't mean that they cannot be used to elevate a meal in another. And I hate beans. I really do. I hate beans. I hate the texture. I hate everything. But Beans can be used in certain forms to elevate certain meals so that it does make them better. And I will eat meals with beans in them if I know that they are used for a specific reason that makes the meal taste better. I know for a fact that it is a part of the recipe. I'm not sure if this is just a he doesn't know how to cook, so he's not inept, because like I do have autism and ADHD and I do have some safe foods, but at the same time I do really like to try new foods to see if I'm going to enjoy them, and I follow recipes and I cook them myself, and I've learned how to cook at a really young age, and I understand that there are some foods or some things that I don't like that are used as ingredients in meals that I really do like. Maybe it's like I say, it could just be that he doesn't know how to cook and this is really fucking him up. Maybe take him in for some cooking lessons or something. Like, start teaching him how to cook, bring him into the kitchen with you while you're making meals, and like show him the recipe books and everything, so that he understands that a lot of these recipes that you're taking out that don't have his safe foods, like they have his non-safe foods as ingredients. Sometimes those non-safe foods can be used as an ingredient that really makes the meal better and elevates the food and helps him to like accept that sometimes his foods that he doesn't like by themselves, that are considered not safe foods for him, can sometimes be a safe food, and he can have them in certain ways that are not going to like make him hate the meal. Just simple cooking lessons can really help with this. And I do get that some autistic people just don't belong in the kitchen, and that's okay. Like, some of us should not be in the kitchen because we will hurt ourselves, but a lot of us are very, very, very able to do that kind of thing. Like, we are very well-functioning people, and we are pretty understanding once we learn the concept of what's going on. Like, once we learn everything about the thing, then typically the understanding gets there and you're not so upset about everything all the time. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just me. If I was going to play with him and not take his safe food seriously, he thinks that I changed more than just the tomato paste in an effort to get him to admit that he was wrong. No, it's one simple thing taken out of or added into a recipe can completely change the dish. It can literally just be down to science. Like, the acidity from the tomato can, as well as the texture of the paste, like without the seeds and everything, can really, really add to a dish. And it can make a really small chemical adjustment in the dish that will really affect everything within it. $400 in stew orders later, I had an idea to ask the chef when we were picking up the order if there was any tomato products in the stew, and lo and behold, there is tomato in the recipe. Fucking tomato paste. In my mind, this was great because I thought that he would get over it if he knew his original perfect stew had tomato paste. Like, oh, I guess tomato paste isn't so bad then. But it was the exact opposite. He walked out of the restaurant without saying anything and then refused to eat the stew that night and hasn't ordered it again. And he's been ignoring me while sulking around the house, using his whiny voice a lot and slamming things. Okay, this is dramatic. Are you committing a crime by being with this man? Like, I think you've broken the law without knowing it, OP. I think it's a crime for you to sleep with him. I think this might actually be illegal. I literally just wanted to stop spending insane amounts of money on stew. I wasn't trying to hurt him or ruin his life. I'm not autistic. I can't really wrap my head around caring this much about a single ingredient. I genuinely didn't see this reaction coming. We've been together for 4 years and he's only had 3 other fits like this. The other ones were pretty reasonable. Those were also a little less intense and didn't include input from his family. This is the first time anyone in his family has ever spoke to me like this. So I've been back and forth between y'all are overreacting and what have I done? Am I the a-hole? It sounds dumb when I write it all out, but living it has made me feel physically sick with regret. I can't think straight anymore. Edit to add, I'm getting ready for work right now, and I can't respond to individual comments, but there's some recurring confusion questions I want it to clear up because it might affect the answers. 1. The stew place is a catering place with a mini restaurant, so every time we order takeout, we're ordering a catering amount pretty much, and it's not stew made of gold, lol. 2, we order from there 2 or 3 nights a week. It's not the only thing he eats, it's just the top 5 foods for him. He doesn't eat this unreasonably every single day. He has a job and contributes with money. I'm not funding his entire diet. We do mix money, so even though he pays for the meal, half of the time it does still feel like we're losing money. He works part-time and I work full-time. Bills are probably split 70-30. Editor's note, original OP was 26 and boyfriend was 33. Okay, at this point, I'm pretty sure that it's illegal for you to be with him, OP. So, this fella's 33 and he's never cooked for himself, apparently. He's never made a stew before at home. Otherwise, he would understand that there are certain ingredients for certain types of stew that he would not put into everyday meals that would not be considered a safe thing for him. Like, does he only eat pizza without tomato sauce? Does he not eat pizza? Like, are there certain things that he just completely hates because of the idea of tomatoes? Does he just hate the idea of tomatoes? Because I get that. Like, I hate the idea of peas, but I'll still eat them if I have to. And I'll still eat them if they're like an ingredient that actually elevates the dish. However, if it doesn't actually elevate the dish and it just adds like this pea texture, I'm gonna fucking hate it. Anyway, but honestly, you can use like mashed peas as like a filler into certain meals and it will make it better. And I will accept eating peas in a mashed form mixed into something because sometimes it does genuinely make it taste better. However, like he has the... Once again, I have autism and I will make exceptions for certain foods, and I have like serious sensory stuff when it comes to like feeling things in my, like I can't with the feeling of certain foods. I can't. The way that it feels in my mouth freaks me out. Also, I'm allergic to artificial red dye. I'm allergic to dairy. I'm allergic to a lot of shit. So it's like I can't even eat Doritos without having to take allergy medication. So at the end of the day, my dietary habits are really restricted anyway, and I'm not, my safe foods have been taken away from me over the years due to I developed allergies. So I had to adapt and I had no choice. Otherwise I was gonna fucking starve. But I also learned to cook at a really young age, and I learned that certain things that I don't like can be used as ingredients to make things that I do like. Like, I don't know. It's just a bit much. So we have some additional info here. When he first blew up on me about putting tomato paste in the stew at home, I told him that pretty much all of the recipes online included tomato paste, that I wasn't trying to mess with him. I was just trying to make it as close as possible to what he likes. And he told me that that was bullshit. That was a bullshit excuse. What I like is the stew from the catering place. If you can't make that, then don't bother. You did make that, though. You did make that stew. You made exactly that stew. You even confirmed that the recipe was right with the chef. later on when you bought the same stew later. And he had no issue with it until he watched you make it. What kind of... I almost... know what, if he wasn't like laying down because he had a headache right now, I would actually like call him and ask him if he has any examples of me acting like this, because honestly I probably wouldn't admit to it if I did. I do have some issues with food though, and I feel like if anybody was going to be like the person to ask about this, especially when it comes to me, it would be him, because he has seen every single one of my fits, and for some reason he still stays with me. Anyways, to continue, and Opie told him that the catering place probably makes the stew the same way, and he told me that he wouldn't be able to tell if there was tomato in that stew, and we had sort of a well-see ending to the argument. We didn't do a pickup order for a few weeks, but when we did is when I asked about the ingredients. We were both present, and I was under the impression that we would eventually ask, but I did blurt it out without warning him. From his perspective, if he wasn't expecting it, he had a... This is something that I would do though. That is a me action. That is like the full ADHD impulsive, like, so excuse me, I need to ask you a question. Like immediately as soon as you see the person, because if you don't do it immediately as soon as you see the person, you're going to like forget about asking the question, and then you're never going to ask, and then it's just going to be a continuing argument. So you just have to ask right then and there to settle it. That is me activities right there. Oh, fuck. That is something that I have done. I will fully admit to that. Oh shit. He had a, if there's tomato in it, I guess I'm crazy and I like them attitude during the argument. So I thought he'd be more accepting of the answer. It was kind of an I told you so moment either way, because I was right, but I didn't say anything to him before he stormed off. It was pretty much instant. I wasn't trying to teach him a lesson. I literally just don't want to go broke over stew. Leaving it alone was going to bankrupt us. That's not really something that I could have done. And I tried making it cheaper at home. I tried reasoning with him at the restaurant. I'm not a magician. And like, what am I supposed to do at that point? I don't know what flexing on this would have been other than actually letting us become homeless. Yeah, that's actually really difficult, OP, because I don't know how is anybody going to actually see where you're coming from with, I don't know. Because like, no, you can't let you guys go broke and homeless over fucking stew of all things. But he can't freak the fudge out over an ingredient in a stew. Like, take him to get cooking lessons. That's all I can say. Take him to get cooking lessons. Take him to, like, give him cooking lessons. You know how to cook. Give him cooking lessons. Show him online recipes. Like, teach this man how to cook. Take him to an actual cooking class so that a professional is teaching him. That way he can't, like, freak out and tell you and question it and tell you that you're all crazy. Like, I don't know. The only thing that I can really suggest is this man learning how to cook and understanding how cooking works. Boyfriend's behavior. I didn't say that he's acting whiny. I said that he's using that kind of voice. It's a specific voice that he turns to when he's in a bad mood, and it's the best way to describe it. But honestly, he is being whiny. Weeks of huffing, slamming doors, and snapping at me every time I try to talk to him, all because I told him that there was tomatoes in takeout stew. Maybe you're right and I'm not being empathetic enough, but I think that I deserve better than this kind of behavior. Maybe a more empathetic person would be able to take it with a smile on their face. Maybe I'm just not that guy. Honestly, OP, I think your boyfriend might have been misdiagnosed. All of this over an ingredient. I understand that I'm a lot more high functioning than a lot of autistic people. I understand that my ADHD helps level it out and makes me a little bit more normal, and that the autism mixed with it, but at the same time, I still have just about all of the symptoms. They're just not as extreme, and I do act like a gigantic child sometimes. I will admit that. But I can also come to terms with the fact that I'm overreacting on certain things and that I need to adjust my behavior because it's affecting the people around me. And I'm not sure if it's even legal for you to be with this man. I think you might be accidentally committing a crime. I'm pretty sure that he might actually have Asperger's and not autism. Is it safe for him to learn to cook? Is he safely allowed to be in the kitchen? Is he allowed to do anything other than use a microwave and put chicken nuggets in there? This is a serious question. I'm scared. He might burn your house down. About income bills. 70% is my income and 30% his rent, utilities, food, streaming services, etc. included it. We have a mutual account where checks get deposited that bills auto pay from, and then we each have a private account for savings and debt. Ooh. Oh, debit? Debt? There's no I, so it's debt. He makes less money than me, and he also has more debt from prior to our relationship, school, car, private loan. So he puts in a lot less, which I get to a degree, but at the same time, matter hero. Yeah, are you playing with stuff? You playing with your toys? Give me a second, buddy. I'm gonna get you something. Here, I'm gonna give you a different toy to play with. That way you're not making a bunch of noise, okay? I know you like that one best, but we're gonna give you a different one for now. There we go. We gave the birdie a different toy. Oh. I get that he has a lot more bills and stuff and that he is putting in a lot less, but at the same time he can also if he's putting in less, is he working more? Where he makes less, does that mean that he works less? Because if that's the case, then he should also be doing more work around the house and stuff and probably should learn how to cook. And whether he likes leftovers or not, meal prepping is a fucking thing for a reason, and it has to do with budgeting. And autism or not, you have to make some sacrifices in the present for the good of your future. And if he's not willing to do that, then he is basically a gigantic fucking man-child. And he should probably start living with his parents again. Give him back to his parents, because apparently he's a kid. He's acting like a kid. Boyfriend's contribution. Oh, beautiful. There's no such thing as his fun money. He makes less than we pay in food overall. If I told him to pay his own way, he'd starve to death. It just wouldn't work. Oh my God. He also refuses to work more hours. He's trying to run a side gig that takes up a considerable amount of time, and working full time on top of it would squash that. He'd rather move back in with his parents than work full time. It's something that he's drawn a line in the sand about. Okay, then he can move back in with his parents. I don't think, like, I'm trying really hard not to be offensive, but at the same time, it's difficult to not be offensive because, like, I know for a fact that if somebody were to, like, say something like this about me, I would be really upset. However, at the same time, if he's gonna act like a giant kid, maybe he should stay with his parents and be a fucking kid. Like, maybe at a certain point, like, he's acting like he's acting like he's stuck at the mental age of 11, and he should probably either be home with his parents or he should be in one of those group homes that kind of, like, I don't know. I'll be right back. Baby birdie. I got some treats for you. Maybe you'll leave that alone for a bit. There you go. Beat up some frozen peaches. He's such a brat. He, like, has this weird, like, ball bead toy that he prefers to play with, and he, like, slams it against his bedding. It's hilarious. Anyways, so if I'm hoping if I, like, give him some frozen peaches so that he can beat those up, he'll, like, leave it alone, but he probably not. He's cute, though. He's cute. Oh, there's nobody in the live chat yet. That's surprising. Anyways. He thinks that I changed the stew to fudge with him because he couldn't accept that tomatoes were the secret ingredient of the catering stew. That's literally it. I am not in the habit of secretly screwing around with his food. He obviously wouldn't have even tried it in the first place if that was a regular occurrence at our house. I am not sure what else I could be doing to support his needs at this point, but I'm not an ATM or a robot butler. I'm literally just a person trying my best. I don't know. And you know what? That I feel like it's fair to feel like that as a person who is dealing with, I feel like it's probably felt like that for a lot of people over the years dealing with me, honestly. But I also have always been the type of person that does things for myself. It is fair to feel that way. It is fair to not want to continually cater to somebody just because they refuse to believe you about certain things. Like, at a certain point, OP, I am not saying that you should leave the relationship, but I am saying that you need to work on a lot of different things. Then if he is not willing to work on them, then maybe it is best, especially considering your age gap, that you just don't continue seeing this man because it doesn't seem like it's good for you. But that's just my opinion, and I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm stupid. What do I know? Open up the live chat so I can see you guys. Um, but yeah, I'm stupid. What do I know? Anyways. Update May 21st, 20. Okay, so 4 months later. I still get messages about this sometimes, so I thought that I would do an update post instead of responding to everyone individually. It's nothing really interesting. I had to basically kick him out right after I made the first post. He lived at his parents' house and then moved in with a friend. He has a job and his attitude is a little bit better. We went to couples counseling for 3 weeks, but then had an argument and stopped going because it felt like it was doing more harm than good sometimes. And we're not really together anymore, but we're more than just friends. It's a weird, nebulous thing. Okay. Whatever, that I can't put into words. He really wants to make things work again, and I'm trying, but it's hard to see him in the same light after everything. I have a few months to feel things out and decide for sure. Probably not what everyone was hoping for, but it's just the way things are right now. Transcribed from OP's screenshots. It's complicated and we're not together, but we're not really fully broken up either. We're separated, but we're still friends, and we hang out. He wants to try things over again, but I still have 7 months on my lease, and I don't plan on moving, and on moving him back in at this place because it was a whole thing with management getting him out of the apartment the first time, and it was honestly too embarrassing to ask them to put him back on. So, if we move back in together, it's going to be somewhere else. And I'm waiting until closer to my lease ending to decide how I'm feeling, and I still don't know. Honestly, OP, with the way that he was treating you, you deserve a lot better, and I think that you should probably take a bit more time than you have already taken. Personally, this man is 33 years old and can't even cook for himself. Like, can't wrap his head around the fact that ingredients can taste good in some foods that don't taste good in others. Like, ugh. That is also complicated. We did couples counseling for a few weeks after he moved out, and we talked about a lot of stuff. The stew stuff was really convoluted, and it would be really hard to explain. I can't read this. Succinctly? I think that this is a typo over text, but basically he knew he was wasting money and being ridiculous, and he was doing it on purpose. He liked wasting the money. It made him feel rich. Ew. I went over to his house a few months ago, and he had cooked the stew himself at home as a way to say sorry, but it really just made me more frustrated. We had a big argument over that, and even though he felt bad for lying to me last year, now he was acting mad at me for not immediately accepting his apology and being thankful for his gesture. After that, well, I mean, I'm personally, I don't know. You still have a right to be upset with him. You really do. But honestly, I'm just glad he's learning to cook by himself, and he's not going to burn his house down trying to make stew. Anyway, I'm sorry. After that, we didn't really talk about the stew again. He just glazed over it when I saw him next week, and things have been sort of weird since then. Basically, he said sorry, but he's not really acting like he's sorry. He's acting like I need to just get over it because he stopped eating the stew and buying figures and lazing around the house. There's nothing to be mad at anymore, so I'm not allowed to be mad at all. I'm supposed to pretend that it never happened. I don't know if that really counts as taking responsibility or not. I know that he wants things to go back to normal, but I'm not sure that I can see him that way anymore. It's unfair of me to keep telling him that what he's doing isn't good enough, but I'm not really sure what I want from him at this point. That's why I don't know if we'll actually be getting back together or not. It depends on if I can get over it by the end of the year. Top commentator, respectfully run. He doesn't want. Okay, I like that. All right, so the final update is that they broke up, which honestly I think is a good thing. I was kind of rooting for this, to be honest. She deserves better, okay? I forgot that this account existed, but I've been getting comments on my update from forever ago out of nowhere, and I'm really trying to get over this. So I'm just going to let you guys know what's up and then delete this account off of my phone. I think that we're not getting back together. I haven't even talked to him for months, and we tried to take a break to get into a more healthy relationship dynamic, and he pretty much went insane. I have him blocked on everything, and I am moving back home at the end of this year and scrubbing his existence and this entire relationship from my brain. I feel like this has been a huge waste of my life and my time and my energy, and everything that I put into building my life these past few years feels like hot garbage that fell on my face. I don't know. He was doing really good for a while and then started drinking again because he's living with a very enabling friend and went off the fucking rails. He's not autistic, he has bipolar disorder, and he apparently got diagnosed with this in high school and felt ashamed of it because he thinks it's feminine. So his entire family decided to start telling people that he had autism instead. I cannot explain to you the sickness I felt when he was explaining this to me. I felt like someone hit me with a car. I feel like a psycho. Everything I know about the facts of his life are supported by half-truths and outright lies. Okay, that's despicable. I knew that this wasn't it. I knew I was okay, I knew he didn't have fuck. I knew that the actions and the way that he was acting was not okay. I literally feel so fucking played, it's insane. The embarrassment I feel anytime I have to talk about him or my life at all the past few years is crazy. I'm going home and I'm going to stay with my sister and sub and pretend like none of this literally happened at all. I went to college, I graduated, I moved back home. The parts in between are going to be deleted from my brain. I have had a therapist here for a few years now that I've seen on and off, and I have been seeing her more this year to talk about everything that happened, but I mostly feel talked out on the subject. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get another therapist when I move. Part of me feels like I'll be dragging it all there with me if I start seeing someone new and have to explain everything again. But I don't feel great about moving somewhere new and going cold turkey. If anyone has advice on that, then that would be great. Okay, so OP, I genuinely think that it would be a good idea to continue with your therapy and such. If you don't want to focus on the specifics of what happened and just, like, I don't know, because that's tough. That's tough. That's scary. Wow. Like, I cannot believe that that actually happened. How is that? Like, that actually fudging happened. What the fuck? No, OP, you are not the a-hole. You are not the a-hole. I was not expecting all of that. Holy shit. Okay, next story. Am I the a-hole for letting a friend sleep over because he was drunk? I'm assuming based off the title, no? But let's get into it. So, yesterday, I had a friend and his girlfriend over to celebrate the girlfriend's pregnancy. Let's call them David and Nancy. Nancy didn't have anything to drink, but David did with me. We both had a few beers, nothing more. It was around 9 p.m. when they said they should be going home. David stood up, and I could see him being really drunk, as he didn't eat anything before we started drinking. I told Nancy that I won't allow him to leave in this state. It is safer for both of them to stay here. They agreed, and I let them use my room to sleep. I went into the guest room. Okay. Personally, I would have had them stay in the guest room and slept in my own room, but okay, whatever. I completely forgot to set an alarm for work, and my boyfriend promised to call me at around 4 a.m. He did 7 times, and I didn't pick up. I was that tired, and also a little bit drunk myself, too. So he came to my place to wake me up, and straight up went into my room, seen David sleeping next to Nancy, and assumed that Nancy was me and started yelling and cursing. That is what woke me up. This is why you send the guests to the guest room and not your room. I went out and he saw me come out from a different room and just said, "Morning, go to work," and left. He doesn't pick up my phone call, and he hasn't picked up any of my phone calls ever since. Am I the asshole? No, you're not an asshole for letting your friend stay over because your friend was drunk. However, you are the asshole for not warning your boyfriend that there were people staying in your room and that you were in the guest room. You just embarrassed the shit out of this man and scared him and probably made him think that you were cheating on him. Why didn't you sleep in your room? Why not send the guests to the guest room? Sharp Mirror 9641. I am disappointed, but I'm also amused. I am both disappointed and amused by your antics. Okay. This one is from 5 days ago. It is written by Frequent Discussion 2. And the title is, Am I the a-hole for mocking and making fun? I'm going to say most likely. I, 37, was in the car with a friend, 36, in a parking lot. There was a car in front of me about to park in a spot to the left. Waiting for a pedestrian to cross, I took the delay to pass the car on its left to continue looking for my own spot. I guess I can ask a quick, am I the a-hole for this? My friend went off yelling and saying that what I did was not okay. If that was an accident, I would be at fault. It was dangerous. It was not okay under any circumstances, etc. My friend is my designated driver since I am still on my learner's permit. I say that it was not that big of a deal or dangerous. Rude, yes, but not that big of a deal since I was going around 5 miles per hour and had made eye contact with the driver and pedestrian. We agreed to disagree, and now there is this heavy negative air and tension in the car. First off, babes, I'm pretty sure that that's illegal. You need to look into your driver's manual. That's not allowed. It's extremely dangerous, yes, because if that pedestrian wasn't paying enough attention, they just started running across the road to, like, make sure that the driver who is in front of you could go out of the area faster, then you could have just ran that person over. And 5 miles per hour, even that is kind of slow, but at the same time, even 5 miles per hour can break someone's leg. And yes, you would be at fault if an accident had happened because of that. That is a full fault. You would have a hit on your insurance, marks on your license before you even got out of your learner's permit. I fully agree with your friend. That is completely unsafe. 30 to 40 minutes later, I decide to rip the Band-Aid off and re-engage by doing a touch under friend's chin and asking, "Why did you fail your first driver's test again?" Admittedly taking a jab at the friend while poking fun at the situation, because the friend has a history of being a risky driver at much faster speeds. I wanted to prove that it was not that big of a deal that warranted the response according to their own driving habits. Okay, that's... Yeah, you're an asshole. What the fuck? My friend goes off again, "Don't touch me," yelling, screaming, bringing up all kinds of things, insults, accusations, etc. Was I the a-hole for re-engaging about the situation? Yeah, you were. You should have just dropped it. Oh. OP, you need Jesus. So hopefully this is going to be a bit less of a awful one that's a bit more entertaining. This one was written by La 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 Land, and it is titled, "Am I the A-hole for farting?" Which, I love some good fart humor, okay? We gotta be real. I love some decent fart humor. Like, I'm a 26-year-old woman, and I cannot help it. I will still laugh at farts. Genuinely can't help it. Okay, so today, I, 18 female, have been having huge stomach cramps, abdominal pain towards the end of the day. I went to a study room, sort of scheduled, sort of secluded, smaller than normal college classroom, but still quite roomy. I had been farting all day. Girl, I have been there. But obviously, when in class or around a bunch of people, I tried not to let it out. After a while of being alone in the study room, someone came in and sat down. A female mid-20s, I tried to keep it in as much as possible, but unfortunately, during long periods of time, I just couldn't help it. I let out a first fart. Side note, I know that this might sound childish, but I think farts are the funniest sound ever. Me too, girl. I never cannot laugh. I tried to hold in my giggle. It slid. The lady was fine. I was a little embarrassed, but whatever. I've always thought that these kinds of things can be forgiven. And to me, my culture, and the environment I grew up in, it's not a big deal. After I left to go to the bathroom to get a drink and start working on my report again, let's say 10 to 15 minutes pass, I farted again. I tried to hide my laugh and move on. This time, though, the lady didn't take it well, and at first I thought she would be laughing, so I looked at her with a little embarrassed smile. Oh no. After she said, "What are you doing?" I laughed. I said I was so sorry that I had been farting all day and my stomach hurt, and her face was so serious. I understood. She was actually mad. I was confronted as she said, "But it's happened twice?" My face dropped and I said sorry again, and that I couldn't control it. I turned around before I could not laugh in her face, out of embarrassment for me, but also for her being mad that I farted. I composed myself because I knew that laughing in her face would have been rude. She packed up her things and left the study room. It wasn't next to her. I hadn't been farting every few minutes, and I apologized, fully knowing how embarrassing this situation is. I don't know about you guys, but this story is just too funny to me. And in her place, I just would have laughed with the person who farted. So am I the asshole for farting? Edit, I've seen a lot of people asking if it was smelly. It was not. I've just been having an unfortunately gassy day. You know what, girl? We have all been there. We have all had some crazy fart days, okay? And I'm sorry, but I fart like a wildebeest sometimes. Like, I am a brap hog, okay? I would have just laughed about it too. But there are also, we have to take into account that other people's cultures don't allow it. There are a lot of, I'm pretty sure that at one point it was literally like illegal to fart in public in Egypt. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. This is just something that I learned in like grade 5 in school. So yeah, grade 5, like literally elementary school in freaking Canada. So please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but that is genuinely something that I learned when I was a kid, and I always thought to myself, if I ever go to Egypt, I'm gonna fucking explode. So yeah, like, literally, like, explode from compressed gas. Like, my bowels will erupt, okay? Oh, what a sin. What a sin. This poor girl, she just doesn't understand. And you know what? I like this one. This is humorous. And no, you're not the asshole, but at the same time, in other cultures, you could definitely be considered the asshole. I mean, you are the asshole that let out the farts, but you are not an asshole in the metaphorical sense. Opinions are like assholes, man. Not everybody wants to hear it. Sorry. Oh, okay. I gotta get serious. I have to get serious. I gotta get serious. Oh, I would get serious for a second here. Whew. Am I the a-hole? My boyfriend got me a Switch 2 for my birthday, and I hate it. I mean, you don't have to like using it, but you can still appreciate the gift. You can appreciate it and still not like it. Like, you can appreciate the gesture. I don't know. You're probably the a-hole based just on the title alone. But let's give her a chance here. So, my boyfriend got me a Switch 2. The problem that makes me think that I may be an asshole is that when the Switch 2 was released, I said that I didn't like the magnetic controllers and the screen was a lot bigger than I would need. I told him that I would probably never buy a Switch 2 until my TOTK old crapped out. I bought it in February of 2025. My boyfriend said that he thought that the controllers were cool and that he wanted to get a Switch 2, but maybe a few months later after it was released so that the bugs could be manufactured out of the first edition. My boyfriend had a first gen Switch, and that battery could only last for maybe 2 hours without being plugged in. And even if the Switch was plugged in, it would only hold the battery percentage and not charge. Ooh, and not charge it. If he was actively playing a game, making a co-op gaming difficult for us, because we would have to stop every few hours. So, for Christmas, I got him a Switch too, although he probably wanted to wait for the bugs to be fixed and for the issues to be found and solved. I bought him one so that we could go co-op and he could actually play Fortnite and Apex on a handheld. Plus, since it was a gift and no money out of his pocket, I emphasized that if he wants to get a new updated one in a few years, that he could buy one, and my feelings wouldn't be hurt because he's right. They'll find bugs and they'll need to be fixed. Then 2 months passed and it's now my birthday, and I open a gift and bam, it's a Switch 2. I tried to feign excitement, but I couldn't hide the fact that I was disappointed. There are several things that bummed me out. 1, I told him that I didn't want one. 2, I don't need one. My Zelda OLED is a year old and has no issues. 3, for about 2 years now, I have been wanting a drawing tablet. I have voiced it many times and showed him the exact tablet that I want many times. Now, I want to say that I am self-aware. I do realize that I bought him a Switch 2 after he said that he didn't want one, but the first gen Switch he had was such a tired device that I figured the Switch 2 was a complete upgrade in both size and battery life, which was the biggest issue, whereas to me, the Switch 2 compared to my OLED is only bigger, with different controllers. 2 things I said that I didn't want. When I tried my best to voice my dislike of the gift by saying that I have told him in the past that I did not want a Switch 2, he immediately snapped back saying that I told you I didn't want one either, and you still got me one. I guess I'm wanting to ask him, am I the asshole because I feel like I wasn't seen or heard involving my birthday gift? Me and my boyfriend have been together for 6 years, and I have never felt as ignored with a gift as I do now. I haven't even taken the Switch out of the box yet because I would love to return it, but that is such an asshole move. I'm not upset because I didn't get a drawing tablet. I'm upset because he got me something that I didn't want, and I would just like a different view on things because I feel like I'm being an asshole, but that I was also ignored. I don't even know anymore. Am I the asshole? Honestly, I want to say yes, but at the same time, no. Because yes, you're the asshole for not appreciating the gift that he got you. But at the same time, this is also something that you have voiced multiple times that you don't want for multiple reasons. And it's not a justified spend. And have they worked out the bugs for the Switch yet? This feels like he's just... I understand that he wanted to wait until the bugs were worked out in order to get himself one, but he still wanted one in the first place. He did still want it. He just wanted to wait a little while. And your thing for that was, well, I'll get you one now because what you're using right now is really crappy, and then you can get another one later once all of the bugs are worked out because this is a gift. But he basically bought you something that he knew that you didn't want, kind of maliciously. And, like, was he expecting, like, honestly, at this point, I'd just give it to him. Like, you bought it because you wanted to buy it, so you might as well be the one to take it because I didn't want to stop using my old one. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know. I feel like, yes, you can appreciate the gift because he put in the effort to get you a gift, but at the same time, a gift is something that you should think about the other person when you're getting for them. Like, it takes some effort to get a gift. Like, you think about the other person's likes. You think about their likes, their dislikes, things that they need, things that they use on a regular basis, things that they have vocalized that they have been looking at and wanting. I don't understand getting something knowing full well that the person doesn't want it and wouldn't want to use it and doesn't like the mechanics, when they've already voiced it before you bought it. So to get upset about them not wanting it when they've already said that they don't want it, and you're both adults. I don't know. I feel like you're both the assholes here. You for not appreciating the fact that he got you a gift, but him for, like, getting a malicious gift. You're both being assholes here. This is just petty. And yes, I would return it. Because it's a waste of money. I would return it and give him his money back. Am I the a-hole for not... Next one is from Aguinier76. Am I the a-hole for not telling my sister that my baby's name was always just a joke? What? My wife has recently given birth to my first child, but it's her fourth. With her first pregnancy, her family were very critical of the baby name that she liked, so she started giving her children ridiculous fake names and defending them furiously. And then, to everyone's relief, changing her mind at the last minute and naming them something normal. I thought that this was hilarious, and thus, we named our baby girl Thermodecline. Okay, that's actually fucking great. The joke fell kind of flat, though my parents were too polite to say anything, and my wife's family had already caught on and took no notice. We kept using the name as an inside joke, regardless, because it had grown on us. Not long after we revealed the baby's sex and name, my sister revealed that she was MTF and would be... Wait, what? Male to female, and would be transitioning soon. Okay. Fast forward to now. My wife is out of the hospital, and we've brought Susan home, and my family came to visit that week. My parents were visibly relieved and gushed over the new baby and her new name. My sister, on the other hand, pulled me aside and asked why we changed it. I explained the whole joke and that it was never a sincere choice, and she got very agitated. Apparently, she had adopted the name Susan for herself. Okay. She said that she had started using the name with friends and in her daily life outside of the family, and now everybody will think that she stole the name, like all of those 100% real stories about trans people stealing names on Am I the A-hole? And now she will have to choose another name. I said that I couldn't have her change her name because our friends would think that I'm one of those transphobic assholes who named the baby Susan to prevent my sister from getting her name after transitioning. My wife overheard us, and now she thinks that the best solution is to both name the baby and my sister Thermodecline just to be sure. Oh my god, that's so cute. The baby then started crying, saying that all the cool kids in the nursery had their names stolen by a relative, and that she was going to get bullied at school for not having a name good enough to get stolen, and has gone nuclear with us. our parents decided to stay out of it by calling the daughter the baby, my sister the auntie, and me the asshole. So I ask, am I the a-hole? No, baby girl, you're just a jokester, okay? Like, honestly, why don't you just go with you named the baby after your sister? Like, your sister picked that name for her transition name, and in honor of your sister and your love for her, you named the baby after her chosen name. That would just be a really loving story to me. Like, in my opinion, that would just be a lovely, beautiful, like, loving story. Like, I don't know. That's just me. Maybe I'm an asshole. Alright, so the last one. This is our last one for the day, unless anybody wants me to do another one. I don't think that we're, like, gonna get another one, honestly. I feel like it's just gonna be, yeah. Yeah, nobody's here? Okay. I guess nobody's in the live chat. That's fine, that's cool. Cool. Cool beans, babe. Man, I just noticed Mary-Kate and Ashley be looking good today. I shouldn't have even brought that up. So the last one is from Nice Tea 5844. And it is titled, Am I the A-hole for taking away my daughter's driving privileges after she got into 2 accidents? No? Okay, let's get into this. It depends on, let's see. I am in my mid-40s, and I have a daughter, 21, in college for CS, for Counter-Strike? Sorry. 21, who is in college, and a son, 23, who still lives with me. My son recently bought a truck. And I and my parents gifted him part of the funds, but he bought it himself. Since he's learning HVAC and needs something practical, my daughter has been using a 2010 Corolla that we had because she said that she didn't really want a new car at the time, and after graduating might move to New York City and not need one as she did her internship there. Okay, so that seems rather reasonable. She's been in 2 accidents with it. Oh, lovely. The first time, she came home with damage and said that she found it like that when it was parked. The police registered it as a hit and run, and recently she got rear-ended and the driver fled, according to her. While technically it wasn't her fault, I honestly think she might have stopped suddenly or backed into something herself and didn't admit it. Statistically, it seems suspicious. She drives way less than I do, and I haven't had an accident in years. Okay. Because of this, I decided to take away her car privileges for now. My son still drives his truck because he hasn't had accidents recently, and I feel that he will need it for work. My daughter is upset and says that it's unfair that she's being treated differently, but I feel like this is about responsibility and safety. She says that she does not text and drive, but she is always on her phone, and compared to my son always texting and calling people, out with friends at night, and unlike my son, if she is not being truthful, I could also get into trouble for insurance fraud. Am I the a-hole here? Honestly, no. Because 1, it's not actually her car. She did not put any funds in to pay for it. Has she paid for any of the repairs, for any of the damages even? Or is that all coming out of your pocket? Does she, and yes, she's going to college, but if she doesn't have a job to actually pay for any of this stuff, ugh. And I mean, at the end of the day, she can always she has transportation. You can take her back and forth to her college classes. And your brother isn't exactly like out and about all the time. It's not a serious issue with him the way that it is with her. And it's not like at the end of the day, it really isn't. It's not a serious issue with him the way that it is with her. It's kind of like she's going out more often. She's going out and hanging out with friends. She's the one who's getting into accidents, and she's the one who's possibly lying about it because she's not getting any of the information from any of the other drivers. Which means that it could possibly, like, she could get in some serious trouble. You could get in trouble for insurance fraud where it's happening on your insurance and she isn't, like, an added driver. You could get in some real trouble for this. So yeah, it seems reasonable to me for you to, like, it just seems reasonable. Anyways, that was our last story for this stream. And we are going to be coming back in a little while after I get some stuff done because we are going to be filming for Cassie's Kitchen tonight. Don't you worry. We haven't done an episode of Cassie's Kitchen in a while. We haven't done our cooking streams. We got to get back to that. Just a little bit. Anyway. We do. We got to get back to that a little bit. So we're going to do some Cassie's Kitchen stuff tonight after we do this. After we get this all finished off. Oh my gosh, sass boxes. This has been a fun one. I haven't giggled this much in a while. I feel like we should add this into our regimen a bit more often. I do still have some stuff that I'm working on in editing. I do still have a lot of stuff that I'm like still clipping down and editing out and getting ready to like make a large video that I'm going to post later on. So that stuff takes a lot of work to get done up, and the streams are a lot easier, to be honest, but they also take a lot of time away from getting the editing and stuff done for the other videos. And as much as I really love being on stream with you guys, it's also like we are taking a bit of time away from the editing schedule here so that I can post my other scheduled videos. I'm gonna be real. And a lot of them I can't just stream, right? Like, love y'all, but I can't. I would love to, but I do have to, like, do some actual, like, recording and stuff, you know? Like, anyway. Oh, I feel so sassy today. I don't even know why. Like, I just feel... Oh, let's put the fluff up. So we are going to be doing a cooking stream tonight because we haven't done one of those in a while, and honestly, doing some of like the tea coverage and the drama coverage and the more extreme situation coverages is kind of exhausting, and I like doing the fun streams. I've been enjoying doing like our not regularly scheduled, not planned out, like heavily uninfluenced, just sporadic, whatever we want to do, whatever we want to read, whatever we want to look at. Like, I have been really enjoying that. I think I might start focusing on that, on this part of the channel a little bit more, just like daily things, dumb stuff, like stuff that I do around the house, like stuff that I do in general. We are going to be doing some more paranormal investigations and stuff soon. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But anyways, Sassy Squad, I love you guys. I absolutely adore all of you. Please like the video if you like the video. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Please dislike the video if you dislike the video. But please tell me why you dislike the video down in the comment section so that I can do better in the next one. Anyways, I love y'all. Bye-bye. And once again, subscribe. Mwah.